Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just dive right in. We are literally witnessing a massive, fundamental shift right now in how software and automations are built. For a really long time, if you wanted to build an automated workflow, you had to sit there and manually glue every single step together. But honestly, that era is ending. It's making way for what we call agentic systems. So today, we're going to explore this complete revolution in workflow building. Okay, I want you to imagine something for a second. What if you had this 500 IQ copilot sitting right next to you? And this copilot knows absolutely everything about your business, it never sleeps, and it can build entire software systems conversationally. You don't need to know Python. You don't need to know JavaScript. You really just need to know how to speak and outline your ideas. That is the promise of vibe coding.
And this shift, it's seriously night and day. Think about the old way, the legacy workflow builders you might be familiar with. You had to construct scenarios node by node. It was incredibly tedious, and it essentially forced your logic through these narrow bottlenecks. But the new way, the agentic operating system, or vibe coding, it's a game changer. Instead of mapping out every single step manually, you just tell the system, hey, build this thing for me, and it executes it using parallel AI agents. We're talking about multiple agents working on 5, 6, or 7 tasks completely independently at the exact same time.
As the creators of anti-gravity put it, this platform has, and I quote, changed everything about building beautiful full-stack apps. You see, this isn't just some small, incremental update to your standard tech stack. It's a massive technological shift. It actually empowers non-coders to create high-leverage software in minutes, rather than spending hours or weeks on it.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The end of manual workflows. 2. Meet your Agentic OS. 3. The Universal Remote, MCP. 4. The Blast Building Framework. 5. Probabilistic versus deterministic logic. And finally, 6. Deploying on autopilot.
Section 1. The end of manual workflows.
$10,000. That's not a hypothetical number. That is the actual dollar value of automated AI websites and apps that are being rapidly built and sold using this exact framework right now. We're talking about highly tangible, high-value, full-stack applications created without typing out a single line of traditional code.
Now, we really need to understand why the old way holds us back. Older tools like NNN or Make, they're fantastic for gluing steps together, like, say, pushing an update from your CRM to an email. But they suffer from severe bottlenecks because you get stuck with one agent doing one single thing. And worse, when you get into complex conversational AI builds, they suffer from what's known as context rot. Imagine giving an AI a massive context window. By the time it reaches the end of its memory, it basically acts like a tired intern at 11:55 a.m. who hasn't eaten in 6 hours. It completely forgets the original instructions and just starts hallucinating.
Section 2. Meet your Agentic OS.
Think of your Agentic OS, something like anti-gravity, as the jet. It is the absolute ultimate infrastructure. It provides the airframe, the fuel lines, the whole environment. But obviously a jet needs a pilot. The pilots are the swappable AI models like Claude 4.5 or Gemini. And here's the cool part. If you're using Gemini for design and it suddenly gets stuck in a thinking loop, you don't have to scrap the whole project. You literally just swap the pilot out for Claude right there in the dashboard and keep flying.
Section 3. The Universal Remote, also known as MCP.
So an AI stuck in a box isn't very useful, right? That's where MCP comes in. It stands for Model Context Protocol. Think of it as an integration standard that acts like a universal remote control. Remember that 500 IQ intern we talked about earlier? Well, MTP is exactly what gives that intern a laptop and an internet connection. It allows your AI agents to securely reach out, touch, feel, read, and manipulate external applications and data in the real world. And the scope of what MCP connects to is just staggering. It spans everything from your meeting notes in Fireflies to directly updating your Notion databases and UI. It can store data in back-end databases like Supabase, push code directly to GitHub, and even host live sites on Vercel. You are effectively giving your AI agent the exact same digital hands that a human developer would have. But there is a crucial point here when it comes to managing all these connections. It is highly recommended to keep your active tool connections under 50 at any given time. Why? Well, it's all about preserving the AI's context window. If you overload it with way too many tools, you risk confusing the AI, degrading its memory, and triggering those nasty hallucination loops we mentioned earlier.
Section 4. The Blast Building Framework.
Because we have these incredibly smart AI models at our fingertips, we have to steer them properly. The BLAST acronym is basically our map for executing high-value, self-healing apps every single time. It stands for Blueprint, Links, Architect, Stylize, and Trigger. You simply pass this master prompt directly to the AI, and it follows these exact structured steps to build your system.
Let's look at the absolute most critical phase. Step 1, the blueprint. Look, bad instructions equal bad outputs. If you hire the smartest person on the planet, put them in a room full of tools, but never actually give them a job description, they're going to fail. Answering these discovery questions is completely non-negotiable. You have to define your North Star outcome, map out your external integrations, pinpoint exactly where your source of truth data lives, determine the final payload delivery, and set strict behavioral rules. Getting this whole thing right ensures your AI builds exactly what you need.
Section 5. Probabilistic versus deterministic logic. Now we're hitting arguably the most crucial hurdle in all of this. You absolutely have to separate the reasoning of an AI from the business logic of your app if you want to maximize reliability. LLMs, large language models, are, by their very nature, probabilistic. They are creative next word prediction engines. If you ask a creative AI to run your rigid business logic and you give it 100 identical prompts, you are going to get 100 slightly different answers. But a business app must be deterministic. It has to act the exact same way every single time. So by using strict SOPs, Markdown architecture, and Python scripts on the back end, the Agentic OS ensures your app works flawlessly, without relying on the unpredictable creativity of the AI for its core fundamental functions.
Section 6, deploying on autopilot.
Because, let's be real, you don't want to have to leave your laptop open and awake 24/7 just to run your automations. Autonomous triggers require real deployment. By pushing your backend scripts to a tool like Modal, your code can be cloned and fired off at specific intervals, completely independent of your local machine. And meanwhile, your beautiful, stylized front-end UI can be hosted right on Vercel for the entire world to see.
To really see how this comes together, let's look at this real-world background automation timeline. Through Modal, every 3 hours, a trigger fires. The system reaches out via MCP to your Fireflies account. It extracts the transcript from your latest meeting, uses the AI pilot to isolate the specific action items, and autonomously updates your personal Notion dashboard. And all of this happens flawlessly in the background while you sleep, drink your coffee, or hit the gym.
So, we've moved from that tedious node-by-node gluing into an era where we simply instruct intelligent systems to build, design, and deploy full-stack applications for us. The infrastructure is there, the swappable AI pilots are primed and ready, and the universal remote is connected. Your 500 IQ Copilot is sitting right there waiting for your instructions. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?